In this video, the world knows the truth. Heaven and hell are on Earth, and now Spawn and the rest of the team have to deal with it. Alrighty then, this is a comic book review of Spawn, issue number 368, brought to you by Rated Comics. Let's get to it. So previously in Spawn, with the destruction of Hell's Preacher, the creature that Nick sent, Spawn, his allies, and maybe even his enemies have all been exposed to the world. So now we begin this issue with Spawn telling everyone, She-Spawn, Cygor, the Flash, or the creature they're the Flash, Gunslinger Spawn, Tyler, everyone telling them that they've done themselves proud and he's very proud of them, but now moving forward we all have to deal with the new reality. So thanks for coming to this gathering. Those military copters above, they'll attempt to follow you, so do not let them. Don't let anyone follow you, ever, because this battle we just fought, it exposed us. The world now knows that we all exist. Nothing will be the same again, not for us or our enemies. And Spawn continues, this government, the media, the internet, they're not gonna let this go, nor should they, because the unknown scares the living daylights out of people. So Redeemer's like, so what do you think happens next? I don't know, says Spawn. That's why I called you here, just to give you a warning. And Medieval Spawn's like, are you suggest that we hide? And Spawn next to Tremor and Mandarin Spawn is like, I'm not suggesting anything other than just to be on your toes every second. It used to be what we had to be concerned about was heaven and hell, but we have to add humanity to that list, I think. So She Spawn's like, they will already blame us for the part in the creature's destruction, but we knew this day was come. It was gonna come eventually. There's too many of us that have to hide in the shadows. So I mean, take a look. I don't even know who half of you guys are. We don't even know who the good guys are. Do we actually trust anyone here? And for a moment, many of the heroes analyze one another, curious as to who each of them are. And Cygor was like, okay, looking at this creature, like, they said you were injured. I was, but I'm fine. And that is the Flash looking creature. I cannot think of his name for the life of me right now, but She Spawn is like, let me ask what happens next if we don't go underground. If we let people know that we're trying to help, maybe we could just work in the open. And Spawn's like, you already know the answer to that. People are dead and they're gonna pin that at someone. Who do you think that'll be? Us. They're not gonna give a crap that we saved millions of lives right now. They're only gonna obsess over the few that did die, or over the ones that did die, even though it was relative to the millions that we saved, but they don't give a damn about that. And the world leaders, they'll either try hunting us down or try recruiting us. Either way, we have a light on us. And Gunslinger Spawn's looking at Taylor like, what you looking at, boy? Javi, it's me, you left me. And that was back in Gunslinger Spawn issue 28, and we did cover that on this channel, so you're more than welcome to take a look at that if you like after this video, because you know a brother needs his watch time. And there's also a comment in the comment section that always talks about we need more Freak. So speaking of needing more Freak comes in there and tells Taylor, don't listen to him, kid, I got you covered. And don't trust anyone that tries hogging up all the killing for themselves. And Taylor's like, what are you talking about? Oh, you want protection? You need someone in your life that can protect you, cause I don't care what happens to me. And Gunslinger Spawn's, look, you don't talk to my boy like that, and I advise you to step away from the boy. And the Freak is like, and the cowboy man isn't crazy enough? And Gunslinger Spawn puts a gun to his throat. I said back away. And the Freak is like, let me help you out here, bro. Your gun's too low. Always aim for the head. Didn't you hear from Thanos in Avengers Endgame? So Poacher comes in and he's like, man, I heard enough of you two. He knows Taylor's arm is broken from the encounter with the creature. So Poacher's like, the boy's been through enough. Now do the smart thing and walk away. The Freak doesn't. He just stares down. And the Poacher's like, you know, being crazy isn't a superpower, so go intimidate someone else, alright? And the Freak is like, man, forget y'all. And Gunslinger Spawn, forget you too. So Poacher turns to Taylor, concerned, asking about his arms, and he's like, man, my arms are okay. So Poacher tells him, I still owe you, you know, for releasing me from my prison. If you ever need to call in that favor, just letting you know I'll be around. And Taylor's like, thanks, but it kind of sucks. I didn't even survive one battle. And Taylor, just so you know, for a quick reminder, Gunslinger Spawn was protecting him under his wing because his father was an angel, and when he walked in on him in Gunslinger Spawn issue number 2, yeah, he's been on the run since because they were gonna end him like that. But Poacher's like, look, man, you did more than survive. You saved tens of thousands of people from being killed in today's battle. And Spawn tells him he's right. I'm sorry you're hurt, but what you did out there showed true courage. Now go home and get some rest. And Taylor's like, so that's it? I do my thing and you kick me out and hope it gets better? Don't walk away from me, Spawn, don't. And Spawn's like, what do you want, man? And Taylor's like, for you to show me the ropes to help me get better at this. And Spawn's like, you want a coach? Let me give you some advice. You don't want any of this, none of it. If you're planning to live a long life, get away from it. And Poacher's like, look, he gets your message, but it's his life and he's young. Let him find out where the pitfalls are. And Spawn's like, no, he'll get killed. So remember in the events of Spawn issue 350 where Sin, Violator, and Spawn were all duking it out for the Battle of the Throne, and Sin was presumably dead from that issue? Well, okay, here we are now. Just because it's the way comic book works. So halfway around the world, Sin is like, aha, I see what's happening here. The world now knows heroes, villains, and vampires coexist with each other, but they're at a huge disadvantage of not knowing what category any of us falls into. And why is bro drinking pink champagne or rosé? Brother, come on now, I thought you were more alpha than that. Even though if the alcohol is free, ain't no judgment. So Sin's like, by the time they do, we'll have made inroads distorting those perceptions, so we'll be seen as the heroes. And then his assistant or his bodyguard is like, won't the humans begin their own preparations? Of course they will, says Sin, but by then it'll be too late. So go find me one of Malbosia's trusted flock, the one who disappeared after Malbosia's assassination. And it's funny how he's calling Malbosia our lord, but I'm gonna shed light on that later on. So this guy is sleeping and his door just gets blasted out of nowhere. And his name is James, and it's time for him to pay the piper. So Spawn is watching news, and She-Spawn comes in like, yo, Al, you got a minute? I'm trying to figure out what's going on with you. You've changed. And Spawn's like, baby girl, I'm good. No, you're not, says She-Spawn. And you know it, so stop with the BS denials. You're fighting yourself, and it's showing. Why? And Spawn's like, open your eyes, that's why. That freaking monster we fought, that was from Nyx. She sent it, and she'll do it again. Then we'll stop it again, says She-Spawn. There is no we, says Spawn. You couldn't get near that thing, which means I'm on my own on this thing. And She-Spawn's like, let go of me, and I'm getting exhausted from trying to tell you how great you are, how much you're needed. We've all got our own lives to worry about. You're not the only one who's got friends and family that you like to protect. We all do. We like to be normal again, but that ain't happening. So when you're done with your self-loathing BS, the rest of us will be waiting. And she walks away, and Spawn's like, wait, Jessica, She-Spawn, wait. You're right, I'm just getting tired. I understand, Al, but we're all tired. And you could tell they got a complex relationship because based on these panels, they have tension, they fight for each other, but yet they got feelings for it. You can tell there's some complex feelings there too. So Jessica's priest, She-Spawn, is like, well, look, I wish none of us were necessary, that we all just get to quit and go back to our lives, but we can never do that and never will. Sadly, there's always going to be evil, and Spawn's like, it's been evil. It's been like that since the dawn of man. What day in the Earth's existence has there been total peace? No wars, no fighting, no atrocities against the innocent? That day has never existed. Odds are, it never will. That's where we come in, to help ease some of that pain, says She-Spawn, and suffering. Just a little bit, that's our job. So Al Simmons stands silent, absorbing what she's saying. For nearly 20 seconds, the room is quiet. Then he gives her a hug and tells her that he needed that. So back to James talking to Sin. What do you want from me? Why'd you bring me here? I'm gonna ask you some questions, says Sin. And I still don't get why and how bro is alive, but maybe we get an explanation later. I'll bite for the moment. So Sin's like, and when I ask these questions, the next word you utter outside those answers, I'll remove your tongue, then your head. Are we clear? Yes. And he wants bro to call him my lord. All right. So Sin asks the question. They tell me you were close to Malbosia. Is that true? James responds, at times, yes. They also say you counseled him, helped them with picking the humans he turned into hellspawns. Some of them, oh, you must know who I am. Did you help pick me? No, you were before my time. And Sin's like, good. Now, if you know the story of Sin, he was the one that donned the first hellspawn. He was able way back then in Spawn issue 331, which we did cover on this channel. So James tells Sin, I didn't help in that much in that department, alright? So Sin's like, you're being much too modest. So when Malboja was slain, way back in Spawn issue number 100, when he was slain by our boy Spawn, why did you flee? Why not stay and fight? I had my orders, said James. I'm sure you did, says Sin. And I'm guessing that your master needed you to leave because he had a backup plan, a survival plan. Why didn't you implement it, James? I couldn't. I didn't have the power to. It was the one piece we miscalculated. Maybe he doesn't talk like that, but he's probably scared, terrified of this brother right here. So Sin's like, well, James, we're going to fix that. And when you and I are done, you won't have to hide anymore or be ashamed of your mistake. Because if you do exactly what I tell you, everyone on this planet will know your name. Then I will give you something in return. I will resurrect Malboja, your one true Lord and Master. Hell's throne belongs to him, no one else. And we're rightfully going to sit him upon it once again. So tell me, James, can I count on your support? 100%. And the issue ends with them laughter, and that is the end of Spawn issue number 368. And the only gripe I have about this issue is in issue 331, Cagliostro, before he became Sin, even though he was able before he donned the first Hellspawn suit, but he had plans to overtake the throne, to overtake Malboja. Now that Malboja is gone, he wants to bring him back. Help me make sense of this. Like, yo, you try to evict him before, now you want to bring him back. That's like leaving a job on bad terms. Now you want to go back to it. I don't know. That's the only gripe I have with it. But what do you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print Rated Comics exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, thank you again for watching. Till the next upload.